There's been a lot of conversation around this team. Some are saying
some people are saying the best team ever drafted. Some are saying the second best team ever drafted, next to the one I drafted last. So all right, look. So again, the idea is I knew when Eckler and Henry fell to me in the first 2 rounds, and it's a 3 wide receiver league, I knew I was going to be chasing wide receivers. So again, I feel like at running back I'm really strong. And so the idea is again, you don't need to leave your draft with a perfect team. You do not need to leave your draft with a team that does not move. What you need is you need enough pieces, basically. And so what I chose to do is that instead of constantly chasing lesser wide receivers, and chasing bad ADP just to try to get a wide receiver, I just kept fortifying my team. So I feel really good about my quarterback at Josh Allen. I feel really good about my tight end at Darren Waller. And then in terms of some of my other bench guys, so Brian Robinson, here's some of my other running backs, right? Brian Robinson, Samaje Perine, and I got Leonard Fournette. We'll see if Leonard Fournette signs somewhere. I think he will have value at some point this year. I think Brian Robinson, this is a guy who in 9 of his final 11 games had 15 or more touches, 20 touches in 4 of his final 5 games. We started to see him used in the passing game in the preseason. We think the Commanders' offense will be better as well. I think there's a chance Brian Robinson is a very viable starting running back. Samaje Perine, we've heard news that Javonte Williams is going to be on a pitch count at least to start the season. Samaje Perine likely the lead running back in Denver. We know that Sean Payton likes to use multiple running backs. So here's what I've done with those positions. And then I drafted Anthony Richardson at the 10-8. One of the reasons I drafted Anthony Richardson at the 10-8 is because, and you're like, why'd you draft Anthony Richardson? You have Josh Allen. Well, here's why. Because if Anthony Richardson is what we think he can be, then I can trade Josh Allen to fortify my wide receiver room, right? If Brian Robinson or Samaje Perine emerge, or Leonard Fournette signs, I'm making it up, but Jonathan Taylor gets traded and Leonard Fournette gets signed with the Colts, all of a sudden he's the starting running back. Then I can trade one of my other running backs to fortify my wide receiver room. The idea is to give yourself, instead of just chasing bad wide receivers, what I did is I tried to give myself some building blocks so that I can maneuver and fix that spot. And in terms of my wide receivers, I have a combination of high upside guys like Gabe Davis. I got Christian Kirk, 23% target share. We know Ridley's going to be there, but still we expect that to be a high-octane offense. You talked up Rashid Shaheed during our Sleepers and Bust segment, grabbed him. Tank Dell, you guys make fun of me. Tank Dell's going to be a thing. Okay. Tank Dell is going to be a thing in Houston, maybe not initially, but early. And then I grabbed Adam Thielen, who no one likes Adam Thielen, but 4 for 48 and a touchdown in the last preseason game. He's going to get a lot of targets. This is a guy who's had over 100 targets through the last 3 years as well. He was 7th in red zone targets last year. He was top 7 in red zone targets. Caught the touchdown from Bryce Young. Over the weekend. I think he probably leads that team in targets. And so, again, no one likes Adam Thielen.
Bryce Young might.
That's the point.
The trusty
he's a
veteran.
Wide receiver. Right. And so I'm just saying, I just took some shots at wide receivers. I sound like I'm trying to talk myself into my wide receivers.
Yeah, you do.
Because
It's all good, though.
I was
going to say, it's all good because you do.
I'm owning it. But I'm owning it. But my point is and I think this is important. When you find yourself in a draft as opposed to chasing a position, then what you do is I'm blowing that off a little bit. I'm going to take some high upside flyers or some undervalued players later, but ultimately I'm going to give myself some trade pieces at other positions that allow me to fortify that wide receiver room. Because I think I have really strong running back depth. If Anthony Richardson becomes a thing, then I obviously can trade Josh Allen. So that was the idea behind my team. So again, I think given the fact that I started this draft without realizing it was 3 wide receivers, I think I did pretty well, honestly.
What place is this team getting in the league?
Oh, this team, I will tell you exactly what's going to happen. So,
you going to trade?
So this team wins this league, and I'll tell you how.
Oh, all right.
I'll tell you how.
Win 6?
This team gets into the playoffs like it sneaks in, on a points tiebreaker and gets in. Yeah. And then what I will do is that I will trade probably producer Cris maybe, or producer Pete, maybe like Denny. I'll trade with somebody that doesn't know what they're doing exactly. And I will, that's what I'll do, is I'll be able to rip somebody off in the league and just fortify my team. I'll play the waiver wire like a fiddle, like I always do, master the waiver wire. Yeah, and then I cruise, at the end of the year.
Listen, the Niners burnt pick 3 in the draft on Trey Lance, and they're still in the Super Bowl mix. So you never know.
I'm just saying.
You never know.
I'm just saying. I mean, right? we saw some of these draft picks. I mean, there's a couple of guys in the league that you can kind of easy pickings, right? We agree with there. Hey, it's Matthew Berry from NBC Sports and Rotoworld.com. Just want to thank you so much for watching what you just watched, or at least being too lazy to click out of it after the autoplay just kept it going. So either way, thank you so much for just letting it scroll by your screen. And now I'd like to ask you respectfully, okay? Respectfully, please subscribe to the NFL on NBC YouTube channel for the latest NFL news, fantasy headlines from Rotoworld, and betting analysis from NBC Sports Edge.